Greetings and hayakum from the city of Dubai. To those joining us from cities all around the world, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. My name's Andrew White. I'm a Vice President here at Expo City Dubai, and I'm here to welcome you to the second of our live webinar series ahead of the 2025 Asia Pacific Cities and City Summit and Mayors Forum, which will take place at Expo City Dubai from the 27th to 29th of October in close partnership with Brisbane City Council. We're preparing for this essential gathering of mayors and city leaders from all over the world in the same spirit of purposeful collaboration, that's knowledge sharing, action and impact, that powered our hosting of the 2020 World Expo and the COP28 Climate Conference. For mayors and city leaders from all continents, business executives from every sector, industry experts, think tanks, young professionals, and everyone invested and interested in the future of cities worldwide. For business, trade and investment leaders, APCS is your gateway to the cities of tomorrow and to the infrastructure, procurement and urban opportunities emerging from the world's fastest growing urban regions. Whether you're seeking to expand into new markets, showcase cutting-edge solutions or shape city-level strategies, this is where opportunity meets influence, and it's all brought to you by the City of Dubai. If you have any questions at all during this session, please do ask via the Q&A function in the menu, and we'll have a dedicated section towards the end of the webinar to answer your queries. This is the first edition of this prestigious event to take place in the Middle East, Africa, and South Asia region. In Dhaka, in Lagos, in Karachi, entire city skylines are reshaping before our eyes. But these are not just growth statistics. They're places where today's urban decisions will shape the lives of millions of tomorrow. This is a critical frontier for urban planning, infrastructure development, innovation in sustainable city building, and unlocking trade networks and economic opportunities. Our knowledge partners are at the very forefront of this exchange, and they're bringing that worldwide expertise to our extensive program. Joining our previously announced knowledge partners, we are pleased to confirm new partnerships with UN Habitat, curating an event with us on planned urban expansion, and Smart City Institute Japan, which is delivering a workshop on well-being-based urban design with a new urban planning approach direct from Japan. We are also delighted to confirm partnerships with GCOM, the Global Covenant of Mayors, the Kenya Green Building Society, and with the Charter Cities Institute. Our commercial partners too have anticipated and are guiding and are leading the contribution of cities as economic drivers. Emicol, who we'll hear from shortly, and who have world-leading expertise in retrofitting existing infrastructure to improve energy efficiency. Dubai Chambers, which sits at the heart of Dubai's business value with a powerful international network of 31 offices around the world. Future OS, based here in Expo City Dubai, born of the expertise gained from Expo 2020 Dubai and COP28, and redefining city management capability with AI-powered platforms. And Gratia Advisory, advisors to governments, businesses, and institutions across the global south and beyond. It is my pleasure to welcome Dr. Tarek Shaya, the founder and managing director of Gratia Advisory, to join us now. Dr. Tarek, thank you so much for your time.
A pleasure. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you. Perhaps if you might, you could start by telling us a little bit about Gratia and the work that you do, and then explain what the value is to you and the team of supporting APCS in Dubai.
Thank you, Andrew, and thank you everyone for this opportunity. Gratia Advisory is from the South to serve the South. Gratia Advisory was actually born out of the Expo 2020 event, where we had the gathering of 193 countries. From that platform, we learned a lot about how South-to-South knowledge transfer is becoming ever more important, whether it's a government, whether it's a city, whether it's an institution or a corporate in the South. They are viewing a lot of the models that have emerged out of the South as good examples to learn from, so that exchange. So our fundamental interest at Gratia Advisory, myself and my partners and our entire team, we call ourselves advisors because also most of us came from, we were practitioners and also trying to bring what we've learned in the South to others. Fundamentally, we look at three important areas of service to the South, regardless of the institution. First, it's about transformation. And transformation can have many, many, many aspects of it, whether it's economic transformation, lead sector transformation, FDI transformation to become more able to receive and compete for foreign direct investments. Then you have the technology transformation that we know that the Global South has a unique opportunity today to leapfrog forward using a lot of the technology that's available. It's about governance. How do we become even stronger in our governance, again, to de-risk and to invite others to open our economies? Then you have the positioning. The South no longer wants others to speak on its behalf. The South today wants to tell its own story, its own narrative. So we work with institutions in the South and governments, cities, regions about how do we change the narrative about it, whether it's territorial rebranding. Why do we host major events? Major events are a positioning exercise. How do we benefit from major events, whether it's a World Cup in Morocco or an Expo in Saudi Arabia or other events that are taking place? It's about strategic communication, etc., etc. The third aspect that we try to work as well with the Global South and serve the Global South, it is all about growth. The challenges that your conference will address, a lot of it has to do with urbanization, growing population, but then how do we grow economies to accommodate this transformation? We can talk more about that later. So in a nutshell, we're extremely excited because also APCS, represents a lot of the Global South, Asia Pacific, but now because it is in Dubai, you're inviting Africa, you're inviting the Middle East, etc., and we're very excited about that.
Thank you, Dr. Tarek. I just wanted to ask as well, you work across both public and the private sectors. So how important is it for advisory firms such as Gratia to bridge those sectors at events such as APCS?
Well, we're very proud to be partners for APCS. And the reason is because we also absolutely, when we look at the Global South, indeed, you just put the data up there, Andrew, 70% of the world will be living in urban cities. But let me add, 90% of that growth is going to be all in the Global South. 60% of that 90% is going to be in Asia alone. Now, when we look at the challenge that will come, it's really a duality. On the one hand, there is the inherent potential of this transformative change, and there are the persistent structural challenges that a lot of the cities and in the South will be facing. So when we look now at solutions, the traditional solutions that have been used before, it's pretty much when it comes, for example, to infrastructure, it is the responsibility of governments. And governments, some of them have done well, but a lot of them have not done well in terms of really bringing the infrastructure where it needs to be to become an economic, dynamic, power, as well as to address all the social issues out there. So we strongly believe that the only way forward is, in fact, the private public partnership. And we are seeing more and more a trend moving that direction, but the challenges are still there. For example, when we talk about the private, are we talking about international private sector coming to the Global South? And here we face the issue of, well, how can you help me de-risk those challenges, especially when it comes to infrastructure and social capital? If you're talking about the local private sector, they have their own unique challenges as well. So how can we look at any particular problem, any particular city, and we can work together, bringing best practices, bringing the best expertise to really address this issue? I'll give you one more example. I'm sorry, but out of the top 500 cities in the Global South, less than 20 are actually credit worthy. Right? So how can we help mayors address that issue, especially noting that we are fascinated in our work by working with mayors for a very simple reason. I remember the late Professor Ben Barber, why mayors should rule the world is because they're pragmatic and practical, and they have to deliver something very, very tangible. Well, that's exactly how Gratia approaches problem. How can we work on a problem but deliver actual tangible results? Whatever that is, each city is going to have its own challenges, and we're very open to think together with our clients, find solutions together, stay all the way until the action is actually ongoing, and hopefully results are visible for the mayor. So hopefully this explains how we approach the PPP dimension.
It does, thank you. And you've spoken eloquently, obviously, to some of the most pressing challenges that are facing cities today. But could you speak to a couple of the sort of the great opportunities that face cities and how the role that you see Gratia playing in shaping their futures?
Well, absolutely. I think, one of the biggest economic potential in majority of cities, whether Asia Pacific or in Africa, it's the youth bulge. It's this incredible economic opportunity that comes from a young population that is ready to go into the workforce and ready to deliver developmental outcomes. However, the challenges is whether it is about skilling, whether it's about the education system, and there are a lot of new tools but require the private sector's engagement in them. Whether we're talking about, how do we address, green bonds? How can we make them, viable enough for people to invest with them? It's about impact investing. We're tired of seeing so much spending going into education systems that is not really producing the kind of a modern education that requires, whether in African cities or Asian cities or in the Middle East here, to deliver a labor that is ready to enter 21st century markets, not that. So I think the opportunities, there are very few among even your audience that can question about the absolute potential opportunities to move away from the extractionist economies to more high value industries, to move, a lot of them are moving into the service industry. How can we take the service industry to the next level? So I think the opportunities are immense. We just need to think together, and APCS is an incredible platform to do just that. Let's exchange knowledge, let's exchange experiences, and let's move forward.
Dr. Tariq, thank you so much. I'd love to
Thank you.
continue, but I'm afraid we'll have to wrap up there.
Thank
We're
you.
so looking forward to working with you and the team at Gratia as we build and create together towards APCS. So again, thank you very
Thank
much for
you.
your time. All of our partners represent the type of high impact collaboration that APCS enables, where urban priorities meet private sector capabilities. Whether it's retrofitting city infrastructure, redefining digital governance, or scaling city solutions, they're part of a larger marketplace of ideas, innovation, and investment. And of course, all our partners are in prime position to shape our extensive event program. I'll be back with you later for our live Q&A session, but at this point, I'm delighted to introduce Tamreez Inam, Head of Program for APCS. Tamreez.
Thank you, Andrew, for that exciting introduction. And I really enjoyed listening to Dr. Tariq's insights about working with cities and mayors who will be coming to APCS. I am now delighted to be able to share some updates on our program. As you can see on your screens, our program incorporates plenary, breakouts, roundtables, workshops, mayoral showcases, and much more. We have field trips to unique behind the scenes tours of world class Dubai facilities, excuse me, including Cool's district cooling facility, which we will hear more about shortly, Emirates Bustanica, which is the largest vertical urban farm in the world, and exclusive back of house access to Terra, the sustainability pavilion right here at Expo City Dubai. This is all made possible by the support of the leadership of Dubai, which has designated APCS as its flagship platform for city-led innovation and global exchange in 2025. We are sharing as a city so that other cities can learn with us as we have learned from them. In this spirit, and as part of our preparation for the summit, over the last few months, the team here at Expo City Dubai has undertaken a thorough research and consultation process, reviewing global reports, engaging international bodies, research institutes, think tanks, multilaterals, and city networks. We have met with mayors and city leaders in their cities and in ours, ranging from Riyadh to Tokyo and Kyoto to Nairobi and Delhi, Istanbul to Sao Paulo, Monrovia to Baku. And we have conducted our own city priorities survey as well, to which you can also submit your insights via the QR code you will see on screen. With inputs from more than 40 cities worldwide, we are seeing clear priorities emerge. Shared challenges in specific contexts that will guide the development of the program and ensure that we are globally relevant yet locally grounded. You can see a snapshot of those most urgent priorities on screen now, and with it, know that we are using this knowledge to ensure we address real world priorities in a way that seeds transferable, scalable, and tangible solutions for all. On top of this, these emerging priorities point to the next wave of procurement, partnership, and investment opportunities, and APCS provides the rare platform to get ahead of that curve. Our research and our response to what the world is telling us is crystallized in our 4 thematic tracks in the program. These are digital transformation and urban futures, city leadership and economic development, quality of life, and environmental solutions and urban regeneration. And then by the topics within each track, which are already taking shape and finding their place across the entirety of our program. Through these program topics, we're not just talking ideas, we're driving partnerships. Our sessions are designed to unlock city procurement pathways, connect delegates with commercial leads, and create tangible, investment-ready outcomes. At Expo City Dubai, we are already working with cities around the world to understand their most pressing needs and map solutions to those challenges. Our unique urban framework helps cities benchmark themselves against over 30 global standards, plus our own metrics focused on innovation, R&D, SME support, and international cooperation. The framework has been designed not just to measure progress, but to guide it. It helps in identifying gaps, especially for global South cities, and turning those gaps into actionable insights. It also supports cities in tracking emissions and aligning with global climate goals while placing real emphasis on social value, basic human needs, and unlocking impact investment. If you'd like to explore further, please scan the QR code on screen. You'll find a snapshot of how this framework has been applied across 8 cities in Africa, Asia, and Latin America, offering practical insights, trends, and adaptable policy tools for decision makers shaping the future of urban living. And now, I'd like to talk about a company that has established itself not just as a solutions leader, but as a pioneer over more than 2 decades in the district cooling space. And that is our partner, Cool. I'm delighted to welcome to our virtual stage Bakulish Kanakia, Chief Development Officer at Cool. Welcome, Bakulish.
Good morning, Tamreez. It's a pleasure to be here with you today.
Thank you for being here. Let's get right into it. To set the scene, with rising global temperatures and growing urban density, cities face increasing challenges in managing heat sustainably. Cool has been at the forefront, providing large-scale cooling solutions that reduce emissions and enhance energy efficiency, including at its groundbreaking plant here at Expo City Dubai. So, Baku, can you tell us about Emicool's vision? How are your district cooling solutions shaping sustainable urban environments?
Excellent question to start with, Tamreez. At Emicool, we aim to redefine urban cooling by delivering energy efficient solutions that enhance livability in rapidly growing cities. District cooling consolidates infrastructure, reduces overall energy demand while ensuring long term sustainability. With AI driven optimizations and scalable systems, we focus on creating climate conscious cities that are not just cooled but are future proofed.
Great. Just to dig a little bit deeper into that, how does district cooling reduce emissions rather than adding to them? Because that's what we hear when we think of large scale cooling systems, right?
Absolutely right, and it's a critical part to understand. The challenge is just not providing cooling; it's actually cooling without harming the planet. Conventional cooling systems consumes energy, putting pressure on the city infrastructure and increases emissions. District
Hmm.
cooling resolves this by centralizing cooling, optimizing the chilled water distribution network and leveraging AI-driven systems, which helps reduce energy consumption by 30 to 50% compared to a conventional system. This makes the district cooling solution smarter, cleaner, and better aligned with global sustainability goals. We believe the future of cooling shouldn't just be cold, but it should be greener as well.
You mentioned AI there. How does AnyCool integrate AI to enhance efficiency and future-proof its systems?
Again, an excellent question. Now, artificial intelligence is changing how we cool our cities. AI helps us deliver the right amount of cooling exactly when and where it's needed. It constantly tracks things like temperature, energy use, and how spaces are being used. As a city expands, these technology makes our system more flexible and future ready, helping us stay resilient. So overall, adoption of AI has helped DC systems become more smarter, efficient, and resilient in the long run.
Great. So 2025 APCS will be bringing together urban leaders to explore sustainable solutions. How can district cooling be scaled across major cities to combat urban heat globally?
Scaling district cooling requires strong public and private collaborations. Government, developers, and infrastructure providers must integrate cooling into their urban master plans, ensuring long term sustainability. Cities like Dubai, Singapore, and Stockholm have already proven how effective district cooling or district energy systems can be. I would also like to call upon the city leaders to think about long term sustainability and integrate cooling into their urban master plan. District cooling isn't just an energy solution, it's an urban resilience strategy.
Hmm.
To scale it globally, government, developers, and planners must prioritize cooling infrastructure alongside climate policies. The 2025 APCS field trip to Emicool's facility will show how cities can adapt district cooling models to meet their local climate and energy demands.
Thank you for mentioning the field trip because that's something I'm very excited about. At this point in time, can you share with our listeners and everyone who's tuned in today, what will they see on the field trip?
Absolutely, I'm happy to share some insights. The visit will provide first-hand exposure to scalable cooling solutions, showcasing how district cooling optimizes urban resilience. Delegates will get a chance to visit Emicool's Central Command Center along with a district cooling plant. At the Central Command Center, they will be able to witness operations of multiple DCPs across Dubai, which harness the power of AI-driven real-time data centrally from a single location. At the district cooling plant, they will be able to see and experience the marvel of engineering excellence, showcasing how district cooling plant is stacked up in an efficient manner. As a part of the site visit, we also intend to provide management access for a roundtable discussion to brainstorm viable business model adoptions and technical solutions that may be relevant. City planners can then take these insights and explore ways to integrate district cooling into their future infrastructure projects.
Thank you. That's really exciting. And it brings me to my last question for today. So as EmiCool is expanding here in the UAE and beyond, how do you see the future of district cooling evolving?
Again, I think this rounds up perfectly with this question, right? I feel district cooling is no longer an alternative. It's a necessity for sustainable cities. As AI, renewable, and urban planning becomes more integrated, district cooling will continue to set the benchmark for energy efficient and resilient urban infrastructure.
Thank you so much, Bakalish, for joining us today and for your insights. It's been a real pleasure.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure for me as well to be on the webinar, and I look forward for seeing you all soon in the summit.
Wonderful. Thank you. So, earlier in the webinar, Dr. Tariq Shah spoke about the burgeoning youth populations. And I think this brings us to a really important aspect and priority for not just the city of Dubai, but APCS, which is the need to foster and enable young minds and future industry leaders, providing the next generation with tailored mentorship and professional development opportunities. At APCS in Dubai, we will welcome 150 students and early career professionals to the Young Professionals Forum. To share a little bit more about the program, I am now delighted to introduce John McGuinness, Senior Manager Program for APCS.
The Young Professionals Forum, or YPS at APCS, brings a dynamic new energy to our shared urban future by placing young people front and center in shaping tomorrow's cities. The Young Professionals Forum is more than just a youth program. It's a global platform that empowers emerging leaders to meaningfully contribute to the future of urban living. We will bring together 150 young professionals from across the world for a multi-day experience of exchange, problem solving, and direct engagement with mayors and urban experts. Through hands-on collaboration and high-level exposure, participants will help reimagine how our cities can thrive. And for companies investing in leadership pipelines and future-focused talent, the YPS at APCS offers direct access to a global pool of emerging thinkers and problem solvers ready to shape and support your urban innovation goals. The forum is guided by a powerful vision. First, to give young professionals the tools, visibility, and voice to lead on urban transformation. Second, to ensure that youth perspectives are not only heard, but considered essential to inclusive and resilient city building. Thirdly, to champion intergenerational equity by bringing young leaders into the fold of decision-making. And importantly, to highlight the UAE's global leadership in empowering youth and creating meaningful pathways for them to shape the world around them. What makes this opportunity truly special is the breadth and the depth of the experience that it offers. Participants will join a virtual pre-summit program featuring expert-led learning, discussions, and community building. At the summit, they'll collaborate on real-world challenges, present their ideas to city leaders, and connect with global change makers. They'll have full access to the APCS delegate experience, and beyond the summit, they'll join a growing alumni network, opening further opportunities for mentorship, visibility, and professional growth. We welcome applicants between the ages of 18 and 30 as of October 27th, 2025. Registration opened on April 18th and will remain open until September 26th or until we reach our capacity of just 150 participants. Participation requires purchasing a YP ticket, so please visit the official portal via this on-screen QR code and purchase your ticket while we are still in the super early bird period and you can avail a 40% discount. For those seeking sponsorship, Expo City Dubai can provide an official letter of invitation to help secure support from employers or institutions. You can request this by writing to this address, apcs.yp@expositydubai.ae. I'm delighted now to welcome someone who has firsthand experience of the forum, Julian Stein, who joined the program in 2023 and is here to tell us about that journey. Julian, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you very much, John. Thank you for having me.
So, Julian, for those in our audience who might be considering the Young Professionals program, it would be great to start by getting your perspective on what it was like to participate at 2023 APCS. Could you take us through your journey and share a little bit about how it's contributed to shaping you and your career path thus far?
Yeah, it's fantastic. So when I look back, so by the way, just before I look back, 2023, like I think this year, 2025 will be a fantastic event. I mean, this event is going to be hosted in one of the most futuristic cities on this planet. So I think it will be very exciting for everyone to join. But back in 2023, we basically had three major themes where we as young professionals were able to contribute our ideas and present it directly to the mayors. So for me personally, having the network expanding to city leaders, to leaders of large corporations was very valuable, in particular in my current role as a senior executive at Haystack, which is basically a digital business card platform where we deal a lot with public sector and private sector. So having these connections to these senior leadership contacts was something that was very valuable for me as a young professional.
Fantastic. And we will also be having a large representation of the private sector at this edition of APCS. So we look forward to providing that opportunity to future young professionals here. I'd like to ask you a little bit about some of the results from the program. Can you speak to the sub-theme outcomes and how they contributed in shaping city and corporate leaders' agendas?
Yeah, love to. So basically, back then we had cities of connection, legacy, and sustainability. So in all of these sub-themes, we had groups working on certain urban challenges. And for example, one of the results in the cities of connection was to focus a bit more on public transport, especially here in Southeast Queensland. We have quite a thin train line still. So we're kind of focusing a lot on enhancing the public transport because in the end, if cities continue just building more and more roads, you just attract more and more cars onto the roads, which kind of creates this loophole of tragedy of the commons, just leads to more congestion. So basically, we were really focusing on enhancing public transport, which, by the way, led to, in 2024, the Queensland government slashing the public transport fares to 50 cents, so basically almost nothing. So people can kind of travel for free. So never underestimate the ideas that you're planting, the seeds that you're planting into the minds of these city leaders, what impacts those ideas can have years moving forward. Also, sustainability. If you're looking at city councils globally, the city leaders, the mayors, they have the power to approve all the building projects that are going on in the cities. So think about concrete and steel being 16% of global emissions. How much power do councils have if they implement certain criteria for having, for example, zero carbon cement or green steel implemented in their future urban plannings and urban cities? That's something that was super powerful that we also presented to the mayors and to the city leaders. And another one was around the legacy, because we had speakers from Vancouver there who hosted the Winter Olympics, and they had Olympic experience, just like Brisbane is going to have the Summer Olympics in 2032. And there was a lot about housing and affordability and about the growing demands of people coming into the cities. And we were basically vouching for having inclusive and community-focused spaces rather than just building more and more towers that are kind of rather isolated. So that was a community-driven approach that we took. All were presented to the city leaders, and I think at the end of the day, it was a fantastic result.
That's fantastic. I think what you're saying also just speaks to the richness of the themes and the topics that you'll be exploring in this program to all the future young professionals out there. It's great to hear the breadth of all the different city and urban themes that you just mentioned. So I'm cognizant of the time, so I just want to ask one more rapid fire question within this fireside chat. What's one piece of advice you would give to an incoming young professional?
Expand your network, never underestimate the power of your thoughts, and make the most out of it by connecting with as many mayors, as many senior leadership people as possible. You never know where these connections take you in the future.
Fantastic. And it looks like you really have, Julian, made the most of it. So again, thank you so much. I think you're a great example to all future young professionals in the upcoming cohort. And we look forward to staying in touch. Thank you again.
Thank you, John. All the best. Thank you.
Now I'd like to hand the floor to my dear colleague Fatma Alawi, Head of Government Affairs at the Expo City Dubai Authority, to discuss an essential element of the APCS business offering, the Market Square exhibition. Fatma, over to you.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for joining us today. I'm delighted to walk you through one of the most exciting features of our APCS, the Market Square. This is more than just an exhibition area. It's a global connection hub for the decision makers from the world's urban economies. The Market Square features a structured grid of 3 by 3 meter shell scheme booths, each with a male aisle frontage, so your brand is never tucked away, but always part of the action. For those looking for more presence, larger premium plots, 3 by 6 and 6 by 6 meters offer custom-built potential and greater designer freedom. Key features anchoring the Market Square include a centrally located City Hall stage, hosting major announcements, mayoral showcases, and project briefings. A dedicated matchmaking area connecting exhibitors with delegates in real time, both B2B and B2G. Innovation hubs designed for emerging solutions and startups seeking global exposure. Multiple networking zones, cocktail tables, F&B outlets, seating areas that keep the exhibition space social and dynamic, and high visibility entry points and registration zones, funneling attendees directly into the exhibition floor. This is a space designed not just for static display, but for movement, interaction, and discovery. Let's now turn to the exhibition packages, which are designed to offer tailored value to all types of exhibitions and for different objectives and budgets. Here are three main options. Standard shell scheme booths. These are ready to use 3 by 3 meter units that come fully equipped with walls, lighting, signage, furniture, and power. Ideal for exhibitors who want a seamless professional setup with minimal logistical demands. Premium space-only plots for those looking to create a more immersive or branded environment. Premium spaces are available in larger formats, giving you the freedom to design a custom-built stand. Innovation booths tailored for startups and early-stage ventures. These are compact, high-exposure tabletop units located in dedicated innovation hub zones. Please note, space is limited and allocated on a first-come, first-served basis. We are filling up, and if you have a specific location in mind, we strongly recommend confirming your interest as soon as possible. To support your successful participation, we've created a comprehensive exhibitor manual, your go-to resource for everything from branding guidelines, build schedules, to technical requirements and delivery logistics. Alongside this, you'll have access to the Event Plus portal, where all service orders, including electricity, internet, furniture, AV, and graphics, can be submitted quickly and easily. At a time when cities are being reshaped by technology, sustainability, and shifting demographics, the 2025 APCS Market Square offers a front row seat and a front-facing platform to influence that change. Our team is here to support you every step of the way, from booth selection to technical requirements and logistics. If you haven't yet reserved your space, please use the QR code on the screen now to find out more. Thank you for your kind attention, and I'd now like to hand back to Andrew.
Thank you so much, Fatma. As you say, exhibiting at the Market Square isn't just about presence, it's about positioning too. So whether you're a startup or a multinational, this is your chance to shape how cities think about the products, partners, and solutions that they take forward. As you've seen today, APCS in Dubai is more than a summit. It's a springboard for innovation, investment, and for real outcomes. Whether you're shaping city strategy, seeking to expand across regions, or offering transformative urban solutions, this is the forum where future-focused partnerships begin. Thank you to all of our guests for your valuable insights. Thank you to all of our audience for your valuable time. And we'll see you all for our next session on the 25th of June. Goodbye. Thank you.
ambition, purpose, partnership, and action. Words that have always defined our nation. Driven by a clear vision, we have seen our economy flourish. Dubai has become a beacon for business and events, a place that prioritizes people and connections, and a home for talent and innovation. Today, as our nation continues to thrive and people and businesses steadily move south, we are already here to welcome them at the new center of Dubai's future. Next to what will be the world's largest airport, a global shipping gateway, a state-of-the-art exhibition center, and Expo City Dubai, home of Expo 2020 and COP28. Guided by the Dubai Economic Agenda, this new center of Dubai will be the catalyst for accelerated innovation, meaningful collaboration, and a more sustainable way of living. Our story so far is remarkable, but as we prepare for the next exciting chapter, we know that our future will be even brighter.